So, I'm sitting here on a very, very uncomfortable, interestingly designed to resemble that of a life raft swing set here in Centennial Park. And the last bit of complete and utter bullshit that I want to showcase of Lab City before getting out of here is this. The excessive amounts the literal addiction. It's a mass addiction that the residents here have to so much festivity decor, particularly this time around, Christmas related. If you thought what I showed for Halloween was ridiculous, oh my gosh, Christmas is worse. It's so much worse. Show around the park and then walking back to the shelter in just a moment. Specifically going down Hudson Drive. It is I really have no words. It's just unbelievable. It's disgusting. Call me Scrooge if you want. No, if you people think that the holiday season is about plastic lights and literal 12-foot tall, high powered inflatables with further strobe light displays, you don't know the true meaning of Christmas, my friend. You don't at all. It's an interesting view, though. Can't really display it with the camera, but looks a little prettier, at least on a creative sense, upside down. Dark, clouded night sky above it. What a place I chose to make an expedition to. So, once you see the ludicrousness of the decorations around here, I think it should become absolutely apparent that Elsie, well, they're not exactly fond of minimalism. In the slightest. Hey, I'm not gonna say much for the atrocious displays, but okay, the only bit of minimalistic features that are here are in the actual major municipal park itself. Those two things being, at least as far as I'm concerned, the structural support for the Christmas tree. I don't know if you can tell. The only thing really holding it up or holding the light strands up is two circular metal rods, which, okay, that's fine enough. Oh, and well, obviously a rope of some kind while keeping the bottom metal piece in place, as well as the candy canes, not the plastic neon lights, no, the actual wooden object itself. Yes, it's made so at least all the candy cane displays are made entirely out of cut wood, and that's just been painted over with, well, some kind of, it looks like, well, it might be, yeah, maybe it is a bit harsher paint, but just paint, that's it. It's just white paint and cut wood. You know what you could have done instead of string up neon lights? You could have painted red stripes. You could have done that. You could have, or put red polka dots on it or something, I don't know. You literally could have painted, if you bothered to paint, even just as an adhesive, if that's what they mainly used for letting, okay, well, no, it looks like they all have nails in them as well. So, okay, maybe nailing plus the hardening of the paint, maybe in between the pieces as an adhesive to hold it together. If you could do that, you could have painted just a continuous spiral red line going down them. You could have. Oh, and these. So, if you recall back to part 2 of exploring Labrador City, when I was down by the lakeside at the facility that smelled horrendous, which I later found out is the municipal sewage filtration plant. Makes a lot of sense. Well, you will recall that I saw these were stationed, these prop wooden housing displays. They were just situated down by the waterfront. And I had guessed that they were possibly going to be for some holiday display, some event that was going to transpire. And they've been here since about maybe 3 weeks before Christmas. Still up. I don't doubt these probably won't be taken down until maybe well into January, I don't know. But at the very least, on some level as well, these, okay, just the actual structure themselves is minimal. Wood, paint, that's really it. But these, yeah, look at that. Okay, you can't really see it too well. Okay, there you kind of can. But you can see it there. Yeah. That's not just this one display. This little minorly shifting in its light projection bulbs strung about. You will see a whole lot of that down on Hudson. Okay. These few are the absolute worst. In this This house right here takes the fucking cake. I mean it. Look at this. I feel bad for however many family members are in there. Because I don't doubt it's probably a singular authoritarian individual who makes the decisions as to what gets put up each year. I feel so bad for who's ever sleeping in the top floors, facing out with the windows facing towards the street. Because, wow, that must be very difficult to try and sleep with, blaring non-stop for a whole season outside of your window, even with the blinds closed. That is a whole nother level of eccentric. And it just keeps on. Throughout the entirety of the central portions of the municipality. It's all just the same. Ah, come on, focus. There you go. I really am glad, in all honesty now, to be out of here this early on. I've seen enough. I know enough. I don't particularly need to know anymore. Now, of all the municipalities that I've lived in throughout the past 2.5 years, it doesn't matter if I have certain bits of information wrong here and there as I make attempts to correct them. If I miss something, if I left out one crucial detail that I either forgotten or I didn't have access to, I'm able to very clearly make well enough rounded assumptions from how the communities operate just in their local environments, what they participate in. It's telling. All of it is very telling. In fact, okay, that's the only way you get any accurate information. Any major amount of it, anyway. Ay. So, gosh, look at that. Oh, even up on the hill. Well, I'm not surprised up there. They have a lot of expense to throw away up there. A lot. In terms of, well, the wealth structuring of the area. So, goodbye, Lab City. You consumeristically materialistic, pollution pumping, pus filled boil. Yeah, that's the best I could come up with. Just pus of, oh fuck, is that ridiculous? Just oozing pus. Speck on the north. I'd be so thrilled to be far, 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 far away. From here. Well, unfortunately, with my departure very much imminent, I only have one more day left here in Labrador West. Despite me trying to salvage them, I unfortunately, well, having to not only dispose of, well, my sleeping gear, but more specifically, throw it out. I had wanted to try and donate my red sleeping bag and my black thermal one, which both of these two have been with me since the very start of my journey, like literally since I was on the streets of Toronto for a week. I wanted to try and give them to a local used goods organization, but, well, being stationed where they were for so long, whilst I've been in housing, and with the water damage they sustained whilst I have been staying outside here for the last, well, portion of time that I was, they began growing extensive amounts of mold spores, and despite my efforts to sanitize them, it was to no avail, because the equipment at the shelter for washing that sort of contaminant is not the greatest. So, just the same as we'll have to be, well, not throwing away, but just the same as me having to depart Cardi B and my tent, departing with these two, and sadly even possibly my yellow thermal sleeping bag. I really wanted to try and bring that one with me, but, well, so is the life of materials. Thank you, fellas, for all the warmth you've given me the past 2.5 years through every every possible weather element this side of North America. I wish you well on whatever, well, if you are in some way able to be salvaged and cleaned properly. Well, it's unlikely, but I hope for it. But I'll keep my fingers crossed that at the very least, if you end up in the great Pacific landfill, that at the very least a shark or a sea turtle isn't choking to death on you or ensnared in your tightening cords. So, Cardi E B CART dash E dash BEE. Seems we've come to the end of our adventures together. I know I somewhat said it before when we first arrived in Labrador City, but I'll say it again. You are the best, most reliable utility object that I've ever had the pleasure of purchasing and overseeing care of. I know I wasn't great at it for many points, especially where I would leave you and just my tent for weeks on end. But you have always been there for me, quite literally. I would not have been able to get here if it weren't for your help. You were the one who hauled everything. You did all the work with all my other equipment. What's left of it, at least. You did it all. I merely was tugging you along. You had the burden of holding the weight and moving it. And you have held strong through every possible storm or humid, searing frigid day or night. And you've still, though you are far rustier than when we first moved out of Ottawa, not, all things considered, not by a whole lot. Really just your sidebars. That's predominantly what has deteriorated on you. You don't have the same wheels as you did when we started, but, well, you made do with new. With the change. You and me together. Your tarp also lasted far longer than I guarantee any other one has when put to extreme usage. As for the tent, well, I am in fact donating this along with you. I wasn't sure whether I should or not, given its condition, but with the opinion of a competent and insightful individual, they thought it was best, and given their suggestions, I agreed. Realistically, all that needs to be fixed is the rips. I already managed to do what I could with the tape I had. A bit more and it would be well enough, and obviously, it still self-inflates perfectly well. But I am going to miss this as well. This has literally been my home through all the warmer seasons of the past 2 years. So many nights, so many activities beyond just sleeping. So many memories. A real lot. But I've reused you as much as possible. For me. Your condition is a testament to that. I know that whoever you end up with next, Cardi, will be even if they're not a worthy caretaker of you, you will be able to withstand it. Without a doubt. Oh, and for those of you wondering, a bit of a gender reveal here, I guess, in some regard. Yes, Cardi B is in fact non-binary. They've been so ever since their assembly. It's hard for me to imagine. I assembled you the day before I left Crow's Landing. And I didn't use you until making my way out of Ottawa. You've trekked with me nearly. I've gone a bit more distance, but You've pulled your weight coming nearly 1/3 of the entirety of Canada. Be proud of yourself, Cardi. No other, really no other, I guarantee. Land care object has done what you have done. I know we had our little spats. I know I've said some harsh things to you. But it was all lovingly intended. So, it was a pleasure knowing you. And being a part of your own material journey. You as well, Tent. You too, Tarp. You too, plastic bag and metal sheet. You as well, broken, crash-landed kite. May the very best await you all. So long, fair traveler. One more flight to go. J'ai passé une demi hivernale au Québec. J'ai eu plusieurs conversations d'archevêques québécois. Et que discuter désespérément Prononciation, c'est pas français, québécois. Sans grand succès. And the only amount of major advancement to my linguistic development in said attempts to speak Québécois French, as I just painfully attempted to do right there. Well, they've only come, it seems, after me exiting the province, and now they've only come into full display of my ability to actually hold up a minor conversation overall in the form of just ordering at a concession stand, whilst in layover for transferring flights. Calls.
Flight attendants take position for takeoff.
vos clés en tout temps. Sur le plus grand le coffre supérieur, quand il vous certaines choses et changer de place de décollage. La réglementation fédérale interdit de fumer à bord, ce qui comprend le vapotage et l'utilisation de cigarettes électroniques. Il est aussi interdit de boire votre propre alcool, même l'alcool acheté de boutique en taxe et d'utiliser les produits dérivés du cannabis à bord. Sommes heureux de vous offrir gracieusement les divertissements à bord. Divisez continue sur vos appareils électroniques personnels accessibles via acwifi.com. Le service Wi-Fi est également disponible à bord des vols aujourd'hui. Moyennant les frais de l'embarquement-débarquement, vous pouvez vous connecter en payant par carte de crédit ou des points aéroplan. Poursuivez de vous connecter au réseau AC Wi-Fi et visiter le site acwifi.com. Pendant ce vol, vous pouvez accéder gratuitement à l'application mobile Air Canada ou aircanada.com où vous trouvez de l'information sur votre voyage et pourrez faire le suivi des détails de vos vols. Prenez note que l'utilisation de l'application VOCA n'est pas permise pendant le vol. For your safety, we encourage you to keep your seatbelt fastened at all times. Please be careful when opening and overhead bins. A few items may have shifted on.
For my sake, let's hope there's nothing on the wing.
Votre équipage de rouge vous souhaite bienvenue à Toronto, où l'heure actuelle c'est 20h38. Veuillez rester assise avec votre ceinture bouclée et vos effets personnels rangés jusqu'à l'extinction de la consigne des ceintures. Veuillez abstenir de fumer. L'utilisation du téléphone cellulaire est maintenant permise. Si vous avez besoin d'aide pour débarquer, veuillez en informer un membre d'équipage, nous aiderons avec plaisir. Faites attention en ouvrant les coffres supérieurs car il se peut que certaines choses aient changé de place pendant le vol. Et avant le débarquement, nous vous encourageons à prendre quelques instants pour vous assurer que vous avez tous vos effets personnels y compris vos téléphones cellulaires et autres appareils électroniques. Vous pouvez vérifier l'état de vos vols et trouver l'information sur la porte d'embarquement pour votre vol de correspondance de l'application mobile Air Canada en visitant aircanada.com ou par consulter les écrans dans l'arrière-gare. En nom de votre équipage d'Air Canada Rouge de Toronto et de Vacances Air Canada, merci beaucoup de voyager avec nous. Souhaitons une bonne année et une merveilleuse 2025. Your rouge crew welcomes you to Toronto, where the local time is 8:39 p.m. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and your personal items stowed until the seatbelt sign's been turned off. Please refrain from smoking. You may now use your cell phones.
Well, let's see what's new. And what's... Here we go again. But I'll enjoy both of them in some form either way. I'm back. Back in this cursed stainage on humankind. And I really couldn't be happier. I said that I was going to, I know, here's me breaking another pseudo promise. I know I said in the last video that I would do my information corrections and just give a general overview of changes to my ideals and perceptions of things all throughout this journey. At the end of this video, you know what? Fuck it. I'm waiting. Who cares? Or at least I don't. The smart people can understand and infer things that have changed about me if they've been paying close enough attention to everything I've done, all that I've shown, everything that I've experienced. I'm now just okay. So, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. It's just, it's surreal. I really didn't think I'd be back here this quickly. Two, well, there was a time where I thought I may never return. But also this enlightened. You know what? I'm just gonna enjoy it for the next little while. I'm gonna enjoy what things I find terrible and pleasant. From my point of view, it's long overdue. Not just in general, just... It's long overdue enjoying it with the people that I actually wanted it most to be with, and specifically in the place that I spent a good portion of my youth in. I left to find the real world, and I found it. Now I'm gonna find even more of it here. And I know the places to start looking. But as for showing it to all of you out there, well, you can wait. It'll come, but you can wait. That goes for both here on YouTube and for my sexual endeavors on the naughty sites. You can go on about your interpersonal lives. If you like what I do, agree with the stances that I hold, or think that I'm some brilliant genius who's discovered secrets to human nature that will be scientifically revolutionary, well, you need to take what I've shown and you've got to start applying it to your own surroundings in what ways you can. Now, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. As to my hiatus, I said previously that at least it'll be 3 months. But don't get your hopes up about me returning directly exactly at the point when those 3 months are up. I very well could take this break for much longer. Maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 7, maybe 9 months. Who knows? Probably not that long. Definitely not a year. But maybe even up to half a year. We'll see. And yes, by that point, I will have finally gotten another haircut and shaved. Yes, this will be a fun fact. I have never once shaved my facial hair in my life yet. The length that you've seen continuously sprouting throughout the duration of this channel's existence, well, that's just been continuous. Never even gave it a slight snip. Oh, yes, and that's another thing as well that no one can deny. Whether or not you agree with my existence as a person or not, there's one undeniable thing. I am the only living masculine human being in all of our entire evolutionary history to have ever successfully 100% with no social repercussions at all pull off a neck beard. You can't deny it. It's just, that is the definitive proof of universal truths. Or if you don't at all think that universal truths are real, well, here is the one exception. No denying it. Things are about to get real amplified, I think, with the work I do. From here on out. In some way. Here's to making the most of things. Till the end.